Howdy, everybody. Hope everybody had a great Christmas, New Year's, had some time off, got out, did a little fishing. Hey, guys, how's it going?
How are you doing, buddy? Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff.
You
Happy
too,
whatever. It's another day. Get over it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, realistically.
I see, Todd, you have your fancy hat on and in a great
Yeah.
spirit.
Yeah, and it thanks to my brother, he knows how to pick my size. So I'm just wearing this. I'm just wearing this for the attention, and like Don Johnson here.
That was a gift, eh? Christmas gift?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess you want to spend $20 and waste your money. Well, it's gonna look good on the dash of my truck. Everyone will see me coming.
It's really beautiful. I like it.
It's not bad. It smells funny, but I'm not sure why.
Yeah,
Why don't you just mount it to your hood, like a hood ornament?
You know, I thought about it, but I ordered that Euro mount with your face on it, so I think I'm going to mount that on my hood instead.
that'll look pretty good.
What's
Hey,
up,
Broden, how you doing, brother?
Broden.
Wayne, how you doing?
Well, Wayne,
How's it
Hooked
going,
up?
Jay?
How you guys doing?
They said they're crazy busy. December was
There's a
crazy.
legend right there. Greg, what's up, brother?
Greg, another legend.
Kit.
I don't know how his survey went the other day, but I had my opinion.
Just all sorts of freaking legends on here. Chris Costa. Holy moly, this is just bang, boom, boom. Amber Servant. Holy moly, what's up, everybody?
I mean, the only question I would maybe have for Chris is, Costa, are you still wearing the purple jumpsuit in ice fishing season? Or that's the only way I'd be able to identify you on the ice anymore, so.
That, and has anybody been pulling your line from a different hole and you think it's crazy head shakes? Because that video is one of the funniest videos ever. I don't know what it's doing. It's going crazy.
I think I did that the other day too on my jaw jacker.
Oh, did you?
Jaw jacker goes off and I got both and I'm fighting myself for a second. Then I realized that I was just being an idiot.
Does it ever make you think of when you're a kid? Like, I had my niece and nephew out there this weekend when we went home for holidays, and they're like, "Oh, I had a bite. Oh, I had a bite." And you're just like, I know you didn't have a bite, but
yeah,
cool.
Absolutely.
So do you guys get out over the holidays there?
Go Adam. I know your answer.
I haven't. I have not fished in like a month.
No?
No.
Busy?
Not gonna lie, I've been busy, things on the go, different things pulling me away from fishing, so just haven't been at it.
That'll happen.
Yep.
It happens to the best of us, man.
Absolutely.
I honestly, I've done a couple of kind of solo missions with no luck. We were in BC for almost 2 weeks and managed to get a couple days in fishing there, which was pretty awesome. Just, I don't know. I think my angle this year is going to be considerably different. What's up, Alex? Yeah, I think I've kind of given up on the generic, let's go to this place, let's go to that place, and just start hunting for something different.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're just going to wing it? Just pick a lake? Or
I figure I've been doing so well at sunset pictures that it's just one of those things where maybe it's just, you know, putting in the time and effort, not going off the spots that Adam gives me, or, you know, so many of the other guys when we're talking like, oh, that looks familiar. Is that this place? And they're like, no, it's this place. And it's like, oh, okay, I'll just go ride some coattails. So I think this year I'm going to kind of stand true to the, you know, I'd rather fish all day and get skunked at a chance for something big versus catch 700 fish at Wabaman an hour. And yeah, I'm just going to go for broke on a few lakes. And if I get it, I get it. If I don't, well, what are you going to do?
Well, I'm happy to hear that you learned that the pins I've been sending you are just random things that I've just picked along the way.
Dude, if you guys were to see my map, I've got probably 30 spots that you've sent me. I've got probably 70 spots that the Greek has sent me. And, you know, I've been doing some research. I've put probably 30 or 40 hours into spots that, you know, were even bodies of water 40 or 50 years ago that are not there anymore. So it's just been a lot of driving and hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then just
no.
like challenging yourself out of the normal of doing like, okay, let's go hit this. We know this is gonna work. We know this. Like, I'm just so bored of that. Like, it's something different. I want to chase different things now. Like, I don't know. I'm bored of the same old, same old. I'm a big one fish will make my day kind of guy. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I do trophy hunt for sure, but I'm just tired of the same old, same old. So
Yeah, I agree with you, man.
I
I
got some
know.
plans. Even though I haven't fished in a month, I've got some things running through my head, and I been looking at a lot of maps and different spots. I mean, even like not that necessarily. There's only so many bodies of water in southern Alberta, but just not even fishing like spots I've even tried. Like just going off the path constantly is the plan now because spots necessarily aren't paying off like they used to be.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily interested in sitting in the same spot and potentially just seeing the same fish. So.
Well, and I mean, people get so wound up when I say this, but the reality of it is that the community really is not that large. It's pretty tight knit community, and I'm sure you guys would agree with me. Many friendships have been lost over fishing spots, and I'm happy to report this is my 5th year. I'm not accepting any new friend applications, and that offends some people, I know, but there's. The old me would fish a lot of spots that buddies would give me, and then guys would be like, well, why don't we go there? And I've always been a little bit hardcore from the standpoint that I don't share spots.
Yeah.
I just don't, because chances are they're not my spot to begin with. And second of all, I'm not the one that's put in all the time to find them. So, these tail riders of social media nowadays, I'm done with it, man.
Yeah. I know this weekend, Friday, we went out to a lake I haven't fished years. All morning, in the afternoon, we didn't even see a fish. Then we finally found a spot. We sat there and finally marked a fish.
Yep.
Then it's just hot. Right before last light, walleye were just crazy, like multiple walleye on camera at the same time. Jaw jack is going off. Then same thing yesterday, we headed out to a lake I've only fished once before, and morning it was like, this spot's good, and I did that like an idiot, and I waited. I was marking fish. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna get this fish. Oh, here comes another one. Then it's like, my dad's like, this place is played out, we gotta move. And I should have listened to him earlier, but we finally did. We looked on the map, found this deep structure, and we got there. It was key. It was like, it's dropped the hooks. 5 minutes later, it was nonstop action.
Yeah, and I mean, we seem to beat this to death, but the reality is the pressure on our bodies of water they're outrageous here, right? So, I hear lots of guys say, well, what used to work before doesn't work now and what have you. And no one's really factoring in that, you're going to lakes that are Swiss cheese, or you're going to lakes that even open water are overfished. And that's half the problem is, a guy gets it in his head that maybe I don't know what I'm doing or I'm doing it wrong. Chances are you're just another number that's in the same spot that the last 100 guys have been in, right?
Yeah.
What's up, Scott?
You just got to move. Don't be scared. If you don't see a fish in like half an hour, it's not worth your time. I get stuck on those spots sometimes. I did really good here numerous times, but then you sit there. It's just nothing's coming. You got to find that fish, find those active fish.
Yep.
Not on active fish, you're not going to catch anything.
And the hardest part, especially ice, is not everyone has the ability to move. And the guys that want to risk it in their vehicles, as we all know, we know someone or have heard of someone that's had that scary moment. I mean, I've even been there. And at that point, is it really even worth the risk? No. Even for myself, I do everything I can to avoid fishing on the weekends. That limits who I can fish with. But I refuse to deal with the pressure and the BS.
Yeah, that's why you need a Ford F-150 again. Then you can just rodeo around.
You're not wrong, man. That 2500, she's not meant for doing that stuff. She's more of a highway truck.
She like the top of it.
Alex and I learned that the hard way at Newell last year. I mean, that thing's not meant for mud. It's not meant for going places that you would normally pull off with the 150. Mitch knows we've done some pretty sketchy stuff in those trucks, right? Yeah, my Dodge, man, it's not meant for that stuff.
One of the funnest days fishing that I've had is the day that there was the three of us and Steve, and we bombed the F-150s across Gull, and just like till the point it was like, okay, we're gonna get stuck and like pretty much get stuck, fish here all day. Boom, let's go.
Yeah,
I had the power wagon.
Send it.
I had a power wagon then though.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that day was hilarious.
See, like Adam, your truck, I wouldn't even hesitate, man. That thing's an ice machine.
No, I think my truck is more like a motorcycle, really.
Yeah.
Do you
out of the Neon, send it.
Out of your Dodge Neon. Yeah, I mean if that's not hardcore right there, that's definitely the way to go. I continue to joke with Marcy, and it hasn't quite set in for her yet that I really want a minivan. I don't know what it is. I think it would be cool. I'd actually be willing to drill holes in the floor. I really don't care.
Dude, get a Ford Transit. Be sick.
I'm not talking like new. What kind of money do you think I have here?
A lot.
But legitimately, why couldn't you? Right? We all look for
you could.
That, you could camp in, do this, do that, do whatever. She's dead set against it, man. It's not happening. But
get the old like 90s, 80s Chevy vans, like the big utility vans that had 4x4.
Yep.
Put that thing on tracks. Put a bed in that thing. And you're going everywhere.
Why not?
It'd be deadly. Like if you go out to Manitoba, there's loads of Yukons and stuff like that, vans like that set up.
I mean, I think you can really justify the man that can afford a snow bear versus anyone that can afford a van with some big tires or some tracks on it. I mean,
100%.
Let's be honest, man. Ice fishing, I mean, people dress ugly on golf courses and fishing just so that people are like, who the is that guy? He looks like right? Can you imagine rolling up in a motorized semi-sleeper or something like that? I don't know.
That'd be fire.
Yeah. No, the van's gonna cost you all said and done like $8,000, maybe 10. Pimped out with tracks. Tracks are gonna run you what, 4.5?
How many cousins are you trying to impress by dropping $8,000 on a van? I'm talking like $2-3 grand, man. Like maybe.
Yeah, but you'll probably get one of those aero vans with that pointy front. Then it will look like a snow bear.
I'll have to think about that.
That'd be sweet.
Unless Northwest Adventures wants to buy a snow bear, we'll all be best friends. But
I don't want a snow bear.
As cool as those would be, man, are they expensive.
Yeah, I'd totally get a van over it.
Yeah. It makes sense for the guides and stuff like that, right? Obviously, but
there's that one guy.
The semi-sleeper every year. Let's motorize that thing. I wonder if some guys don't want something to stand out, so that someone will be like, "Oh, there he is, man. That's where he's fishing." I don't know. We need to have an ice fishing shack competition next year.
There we go. Astro vans are 4-wheel drive. There we go.
Costa's probably had a few dates in a few of them. That's how we would know, I guess. I'm not sure. All of a sudden, the marketplace will be lacking 4x4 vans. I'll look after.
I think they're already lacking.
Yeah, it already is.
Yeah.
The Overlanders, they're grabbing them like hotcakes.
I think they're banned in my neighborhood because that's where all the special people sleep at night. So I'm not sure that that's going to work out.
Just paint it cool. You'll be okay. Like an A-team van.
Yeah.
But 4x4. Do the same fin, the stripe, and everything. Just be the
free bait on the side.
Why are we not buying vans and flipping them? Like, guys are selling ice fishing trips for $40,000.
It's probably a good idea.
Right?
100%.
or we get into the pimp my shack kind of idea. You know, we'll go out, drink a bunch of beers, get all smashed in your shack, and whatever it ends up being at the end of the weekend, there you go. We pimped your shack.
I can see that being more costly than productive.
Well, not for us. Free bait. Yeah, I could take that one down a dark path, DJ.
Yeah.
But I'll leave it at that.
I know. So, are you going Cold Lake then, Todd? Now
I am sticking to my guns this year. I'm not going to Cold Lake. Alex is on here. I know.
There's a shack open for you.
Yeah. So Cold Lake Ice Shanty Rentals, you know, they're launching this year. They're going to be up there. I have the opportunity. Man, I need to stick to my guns just once, just this year.
Oh man, this will be relaxed. You have like a cabin on the lake.
Dude, how many years have I said I'm not going and then end up going, and then I come back and all my friends have to listen to me complain about how pissed off I am about Cold Lake.
Well, now it's sold out, so.
Well, legends don't compete, I think, isn't that how that saying goes?
Oh, okay.
I've already fulfilled all my fantasies.
Because I was just thinking you would have to pay me to go there, so.
I would have to pay you.
Without money on the line, I don't know about going to Cold Lake.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I get it. A lot of people are in love with Cold Lake.
I'm just plugging. I'm just plugging. I'm just plugging.
I don't know what it was Broden said about the rusty trombone, but when your package comes in, bro, it's on the front step. You know what? I'm going to be honest. I'm a Southern Alberta boy. There's nothing to me that is that appealing that I want to drive almost 6 hours for Lakers.
That's a long ways, yeah.
I just don't. It's beautiful up there. Greg has taken us to some bodies of water that far exceed what Cold Lake provides, which has just been phenomenal. But I'm over it, man. I'm not driving to Cold Lake at $2 a liter to go freeze my balls off.
I don't believe it.
I'm just not. If I want to freeze my balls off, I'll step outside and just deal with the wind. You know, it's done. I'm not doing it. Are you guys, Mitch? Are you in it this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always go.
Is Aaron doing it this year too?
I don't think so.
No.
It'll be too close.
Yeah.
And it's just too much. It'll be a lot of work.
I mean, that's a story in the making, having a baby on the lake. I mean, if you guys really want to commemorate Cold Lake, take that risk. Why not?
I don't think I want to remember Cold Lake that bad.
Take that risk.
I get it. I understand. But, you know, Alex put it best. I haven't fished at ever open water. So maybe that's why I don't have the connection.
Yeah. Open water is crazy.
Most people do, right?
When we did the tournament this summer, it was nuts. Like me and Adam, my buddy, it was 100 fish plus day.
Yeah.
Just in the tournament hours. And it was just sore arms because that's 100 feet. And you're catching fish from 26 to 30 inch pretty much constantly.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's as I get older, I've just gotten to the point where I want the opportunity at something that's going to wow, right? Some of my best cold streaks are followed up by fish like that. Like I can think of my best bull being on the Old Man. I can think of, you know, the things Adam and I've done in Manitoba. I still think that after doing what we did in Manitoba, you can't find that here. And I think that's where my mind kind of shifted a little bit with what I like to target. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a problem that's a problem it's interesting you say that because it's a problem I've been having a lot and why I say I'm just doing random things at this point is like that what we did there and like there's multiple stretches there where I did some pretty crazy things and you did some pretty crazy things and it's like it's hard to chase those, right? Like you chase those moments. So you've got to pretty much chase, like you're chasing big fish all the time, right? Like, I mean, when you've only been fishing a couple of years, you'll break a PB every other like season pretty much.
Yep.
Like, I mean, 5 years ago, I could have broken PB every other season. But nowadays, it's like to break a PB, you got to catch a beautiful fish, right? And not saying that the ones that aren't that size aren't, but it's like been a really tough thing. Is like once you become trophy fishing, you really start like pushing yourself, and then like if you get to a point, and that's why I find competition is important for me, is like if there's not something pushing you, you almost like get bored or like you fall into
You
these
hit a
patterns
level.
where it's like, oh, I'll just go fish this because I seen this guy caught a nice fish there, or I'll just go fish this because I know it's gonna be good. Like I'm just so tired of those days. Like sure, they're fun, and some days like when you're just chilling, it's nice to have those, but pushing it a little further is fun.
Very
I'm scared of my kid beating all my PBs. No, that's one of the coolest things ever, BJ.
Yeah.
But
Having
it's
your kid
crazy
do
that
that.
he mentions this. So, you know, I've said this to you guys for years. What's up, Jason? Is that you, especially for you, Mitch, is I don't feel that I could ever handle the pressure of being a guide because that constant need and pressure I put on myself just to catch fish in order to be able to prove it to someone else is too much pressure. But the cool thing that I've learned, especially in the last, I don't know, say even the last 4 years that Marcy and I've been together and she's gotten into fishing with me is that, and the last couple weeks is the experience. My nephews never fish brookies. They live in an area where who cares? Like, no offense, screw the rainbows, man. Let's go for something you haven't gone for. And knowing that I could still go out into an environment with someone and show them the experience that they've yet to see or take in, like brookies or Marcy caught her first rainbow through the ice. Those are really the experiences I'm getting the most out of. I hardly fished. I think I fished maybe for an hour or two out of all of it, but seeing everyone else and their new experiences to me is just, it's inspiring. I think that's where I'm getting my inspiration from.
It is amazing. Like some of my best, I've talked about, I think this before, is a kid from Sweden, and he's like my favorite. Every time he's back too, he comes back like every year, and he always calls me. But that kid, like, he hooked into a cutty for his first time, and all the trout over there, he says, are like 8-10 inches, and he's just like, just pumped, like crazy pumped, and it's just like, dang, that's awesome. Like feels like that's what a guide does. Like you look for that feeling, and that's why you want to be a guide. But with the way the fishery is in Central Alberta right now, I won't touch half the stuff anymore.
Well, I hate to say it. I mean, again, our fishery is a joke, right? But if it means that someone else can take advantage of, you know, getting in and having some of that first blood experience, hey man, I'm all about it. I mean, Adam, even you, I mean, look at the people that you've had coming down for, you know, sturgeon and stuff like that. Like Marcy and I have even been down there with you, right? The thrill of seeing someone that's never done it before, to me, is like, man, I remember when I caught my first rainbow through the ice. It seems like forever ago, but it's just, I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah, and like, I mean, I don't fish with very many people. I kind of live out of the way of a lot of you guys, but like that's like one of the few people that I do really like to fish with is like those new people who it's like, whether it's sturgeon fishing or what have you. Like I even bull trout fishing. Like I took a couple buddies this summer for their literal first times fishing, and they caught bull trout. And like that part of like guiding, I feel would be super fun. I mean, I've never done it, but my other problem is I'm kind of just like very like specific. Like I'll tell you like this is what you do, and if you don't want to listen to me, then I'm gonna just do it and show you why you should have done it and listen. So I don't necessarily know if I would. Well, I mean, in a guiding situation, I'd probably be a lot better at it. What's that?
That's being a guide. It's like
but it's just like I don't know how. Like I'd be like, cast over there. Like I don't know. I'd be aggressive. I don't know. I like watching the guys that fish down on the flats that are fly fish guides, because they'll tell you what to do, and if you don't listen, they'll tell you blew it. But anyways, that's beyond the point. the point is like the people that I do really love to fish with are those people who are having those new experiences. Like I say, like I'll take kids out for sturgeon, and like they may not necessarily be able to even fight or land the fish the whole time, but when you set the hook and you give them the rod and you're like, hey, I'm just gonna let go for a second, and they feel that, like that's like honestly the coolest thing ever.
Broden's comment is actually funny because when you hear someone that's as hardcore as Broden,
am I still new to it? Yes, you're very new to it. Absolutely.
He does the kayak circuit and how awesome he does that. But his experiences with ice fishing are a little bit less, right? To me, it's like, dude, you do the circuit. How is this new to you? But maybe we just don't acknowledge that with enough people, that just because I fish a lot doesn't mean I'm like the master friggin' legend of all experiences, right?
When you come from Australia.
I don't imagine they get much ice over there. I actually really respect Broden's approach is like he's very technical. I've never actually met him, so maybe I could just be talking out of my butt here. But from when I've spoke with him through Messenger and stuff and seen him on the channel here, he's very technical, and that's what I like about him. So only the second year in, that's got to be pretty cool, because I think I've been ice fishing since I was like 7 years old. So.
Oh man,
it's funny you mentioned technical, Adam, because both Mitch and yourself are technical. Broden's technical. I'm there's words that I call myself when it comes to this technique that I won't use on here. I'm not technical in the least, and I'm almost jealous of you guys that have taken the time to get more technical with it. Maybe that's the next step for me, but I don't know. I see too many shiny things. I don't think I have the patience. Alex or Lee, or I can name hundreds of people that would be like, oh, do this, 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 and this. And I'm not like that at all. I don't know why. I wish it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird because there's very few people who have fished with me, like tournament fishing. Todd, you're one of them. And we had a week together where it was like, this is going to be hardcore, and we're going to have to.
Friends off twice, friends on 3 times.
There was a time where it was throw that cooler out, and I was like, no man, like why are we throwing the cooler out? Like, are you kidding me? We have so much bait in there. He's like, are you kidding me? It smells horrible. I'm like, we had an legitimate argument for no reason over a cooler that smelled terrible, and we could have easily replaced the bait.
Yep.
But like someone to talk to, like it'd be funny to have like a conversation with Tash and be like, let's talk to Tasha about Adam's tournament fishing and who Adam is when he's not tournament fishing, because that's someone who I've fished with a lot in both situations, and she knows how, like, there's Adam who's like super technical or like just kind of dials in and hangs out, and then there's Adam who's like a freak and will use everything that he's got and then flip out about it and then go back and use everything again. It was the first thing that he used. He just had to calm down for 5 seconds.
Yeah. But
not proud of that guy, but he does fish really well.
Yeah. On the technical aspect, though, you look at when we went to Manitoba for a week, dude, I was just along for the friggin' ride. I didn't plan anything. We're driving in the middle of the night to Lake Winnipeg, and you're tying rigs, and I'm just driving, hanging out. Like, and that's, again, it's the part that I don't have, right? Maybe that's why I just tag along with everyone else on their spots for so many years, is because I'll research it a bit, but I'm like, F this, man. I'm just going to go. 2 weeks ago, I went out by myself. I didn't even know where I was going till 20 minutes before I got there. I literally loaded up the truck and trailer, and I always tell Marcy, this is where I'm going, right? I can't swim. If Fatty falls through and you guys don't know where I am, there's an icicle at this lake. I can't make up my mind. There's no one spot where I'm like, oh, yeah, that's where I'm going. I'm going to slay fish. Literally 20 minutes before I got there. And then I just got there and it was miserable. I'm like, I'm out of here, man. Punch myself in the face. I'm gone.
Sometimes I just start driving and not have a plan at all.
Really? See, this is interesting. This is so interesting to me because I asked this question one time when I still like did the horseshoe kid and stuff like that. And I was like, when you guys like when fishing season, well, not when fishing season, because fishing season never ends. But I'm like, I asked people, I was like, do you guys like have a plan, or are you just like fly by the seat of your pants and like you kind of you know what's going on still, but you just kind of like roll with it? And it was overwhelming to me, like probably like 98% of people being like, no, we just go fishing and like go roll with it. And like,
Really?
I honestly like, I'm on Monday, I'm packed for the weekend.
Yeah.
And like, I know like 2 weeks out, like most of the time, I know like, and like, there's like people be like, oh, you want to go do this? And I'm like, yeah, like I'd rather like not even go fishing, like than go waste my time doing it. Like, I just like for some,
100%.
and like, it's not, and it's a
Not
stupid way
personal.
to approach it because you can catch a big fish at any time of the year of any species.
Mhm.
But I'm like dialed, like my brain is dialed to like, it's this time of year, it's this couple weeks, it's this whatever. I need to be here, here, here. Like not necessarily in certain places, but chasing certain things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I guess I always kind of have a plan, but I'll go for a species. Like if I'm heading out west in like August or something, I'll just start driving west because I know there's creeks to fish and rivers that are going to
100%.
be productive.
Yeah, and I
But
feel like that, like that's like you have a plan. Like you're at,
I have a plan. I'm going trout fishing, but I don't know
yeah,
which creek I'm going to stop at
yeah,
or
Well, I
river.
think my coolest day like that was fishing with you, Mitch. And we did some back roads and stuff like that, and you already kind of had a plan, and it was all a relatively new area to me. But the experience and you being like, oh, let's try here, and if this doesn't work, well, I've got a spot up here, we'll go check out. Right? Like that. I don't know. Open water is nice for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But ice, you would expect like, well, this is where I'm going. This is where I'll end up. Not at all.
absolutely.
Yeah.
The one thing about ice that makes it tough is like there's only so many places, right? There's only so many lakes. For so Greg made a good point earlier where he's like, yeah, there's still definitely places that don't get hammered as much. Like I would definitely say that's a lot more true in the north than it is more down here.
Yeah.
Which is like super sick. But like here you don't really like no matter what lake you go to anymore, even spots where it's like, oh, okay, I'll just gonna go to random blah blah blah. Some dude will walk up next to you. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna happen.
Don't get me
It's
started.
crazy down here. And that's why I like have kind of, I really love ice fishing and I never will say that I don't, but I really got into like just fly fishing by myself this year. And not that it necessarily has to be fly fishing, but like the hike in lakes and hike in spots because that's where you kind of don't run into people. And then going alone, not like I don't recommend going alone. I go alone a lot. But just like be smart about it. Obviously use your Spot or your Garmin if you do. But like
Yeah.
I'm really into like I need to go into the backcountry these days because I just especially open water season. I mean, you can go catch, like, put it this way, we fish walleye wars, right? Walleye wars, tough competition, going to be super fun.
Yep.
It comes out of the same spot every time, and it's so frustrating because, and it's not like those fish deserve all the recognition they get. They're great fish, but
Yeah.
it's like, okay,
It's the
I can
same
go do
area.
it. I can go do it too. Like anyone can go do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I know people who don't go fishing and it's like, hey, just go throw a pickerel rig here. Oh, I caught a 30-inch walleye. Yeah, that's what people chase their entire life.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
like go catch a 30-inch walleye out of the river that you actually have to work for. Like the Athabasca River like produces incredible walleye.
Mhm.
South Saskatchewan River, incredible walleye.
Dude,
Catch
the
one of those
biggest walleye
bangers.
I've
Like
ever
those are
seen.
bangers.
Red
The
deer has
biggest
some
walleye
big
I've
ones
ever
too.
seen never even came out of where we're talking about. Mitch caught the friggin' thing in a river where I'm like, what's going on here, man? Like,
Oh yeah, biggest walleye I've ever caught comes out of a river. Like there's monsters in the river. It just takes a little. It takes a little more knowledge to get them. You got to kind of understand when, why, where. And that's the difference between when, why, where, as into, oh, this is incredibly obvious. Let me go here. Incredibly obvious just doesn't do it for me anymore. The Spot or the Garmin. Honestly, Brandon, I think like the Garmin offers a lot of really cool features. I know that on a few models of Garmin, you can actually send messages and keep in contact like real time kind of thing. My Spot, I can send a check-in message. I can send like these are pre-written messages. Check-in, just a hey, how's it going? SOS, and I'm in trouble. It's not super bad, but I don't think I can get out of here myself. I think regardless, any one of them is good to have.
Yeah.
Just have something that you can get in contact with, and definitely let someone know where you're going.
Yeah, 100%. Always have a plan. Let
Yeah.
loved ones know or somebody
Especially
know.
for you guys with the backcountry stuff you do, right? I mean, that's just kind of a no-brainer. I mean, I'm a little bit different from the standpoint. I'm not hiking. I think people that run are stupid. No offense, all you runners, but what are you running for?
Or from.
Right? If I get stuck or break down, chances are someone's around, and if they're not, everyone loves a good vehicle fire, so they'll know something's up when they see my truck or my Skidoo or my trailer on fire. That's my SOS.
Oh man, that's funny.
So, look,
Lake trout were fire last week. Is that big lake up there frozen? See, and here's one thing that I wanted to say. Todd mentioned something about offensive. I don't remember what it was earlier. No one get offended if you don't see me if you like go like, oh, I'm gonna go on Adam's Facebook and say hi to him, and it doesn't pop up, or my Instagrams or my YouTubes. I just don't have social media. It's not meant to be offensive. Just send me a message on Messenger, and we can go fishing.
And you can see him here sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
times are tough, man. $20 e-transfer. I've got Adam's cell. I even know
what?
So
did you pick him up a cell from the fast gas for him?
Oh, I know where he's at all times. You're probably the only guy where I don't need the address to get to your house. I know where you live, which is weird because I don't even know where I live most days. But yeah, $20 will get you a phone number. $50 will get you an address. So
you're gonna be surprised how many people hit you up for that address.
Amber's ready to go, Adam.
Yeah, Amber, we were talking one time when we were on a podcast together about going out west to chase salmon and steelhead. And next year, 1,000%, or this year, I guess, because it's January now. But this year, I definitely want to go out to the coast at some point. So if anybody is like legitimately interested in that, including you, Amber, let me know. Serious inquiries only, because I definitely want to do that this year. The coast trip that I did, it was on a very short timeline, but it was like the fishing part of it, super fun. And I want to do it again and actually be able to remember it, because it was in like a maybe 60-hour time frame, and I'm pretty sure I was driving for like 40 of them. So
probably, yeah.
And fishing the rest of them. So there's barely any sleep.
Anything west of us is worth it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Or east.
Wait, what can $100 get me? My Spot,
well, he's a medicine hat boy, right? So
AirPod tracker on Adam. $100. What's a $100 get?
I mean, Storchy, you'd know, man. Storch knows better than anyone. We've eaten organic corn dogs in Wisconsin together. So, $100 to give me a F load of dry flies. I still have his last $100 of dry flies that I haven't used here. So.
We gotta get you on. We gotta get you on the fly rod here, Todd, next year. Maybe we'll drill some sight holes and cast into them.
It's funny because it's been a while since I've been on here. So on our honeymoon, we went camping, and Mitch knows where we went because he sent us the spot.
Yeah.
I spent the first day with my spin rod and catching nothing, and then I told Marcy, I'm committing myself to the next 3 days. Even if I catch nothing, I'm going to at least devote the time to using my fly rod and making sure I use it when all the other pros aren't around. These 2 guys from Quebec showed up like masters, and I'm like, I'm out of here, man. Hey, I caught my first cutty, and I haven't caught a cutty in 20 years I've been here. I've caught one. That was my second one on the fly rod. So, it felt good to finally get that thing out.
Did you see the scuba diver I had set up there to put that on for you?
Yes. That's when I did the pants optional.
Told him to be
Is that
discreet.
what you're talking about?
The guy that some say Sasquatch, some say scuba diver.
We should actually talk about this because the rumor is someone was snorkeling up there and saw a massive whitefish, which I call BS on. But we know there's
That
big
far
fish
up?
there. That
I
far
have
up.
caught whitefish. I have caught whitefish down from there.
We're talking in the 30s.
Rocky Mountains?
In the 2 pools up from where you guys count. Yeah.
Yeah, we've caught a lot of Rockies nymphing in there, but
Yeah. So
earlier in the season, but
fly rod season's only 60 days away? 90 days away, maybe?
you go right now if you want.
Okay. Done deal. Glenmore Sewage Plant.
Get those midges out. Get those gnats out.
I refuse to river fish in the winter.
What's your guys' favorite tent to use right now?
So I've done them all. You guys already know this. I think I've probably gone through more tents than I have underwear in the last 2 years. I mean, I can go all the way back. I've done the Frabil 6-man, the 6x12. Adam, you had that one too, I think, right?
Yeah.
It was the older school one. Any of you that are thinking don't do insulated, don't just spend the extra money. If you don't have the extra money, don't.
100%.
That was a regret of mine that I've completely changed now. Then I went to the Evo 2, which the Evo 2 was not a bad setup. The only thing I didn't like about the Evo 2 was an insulated top, non-insulated sides, super heavy, like 120 pounds. I think I drugged that thing around for about 2 years.
But it was nice.
Yeah.
It was wide.
Nice and wide. And for anyone that's fished with me, they know I take up an F load of space. It was great. I got rid of it. We did upper K with it and like 80K winds. It was miserable. Doesn't hold heat, but whatever. Got the job done. And then last year I did not the Fatfish 949, but one of the other Eskimos, the hexagon one with the wide open door. Anyways, doesn't matter. I actually really like that. The only reason I sold it is because, as Dino would say, flip over life. He's not wrong. I used it one season, got rid of it, and then I picked up a Clam 2-man flip over, fully insulated. I haven't even actually sat in it this year because the weather's been so nice. But it's the way to go. The only disadvantage with those flip overs is the headspace. If you want decent headspace, you're going to a 120-pound sled. Yeah, flip is life. But I will stick with this Clam now that I have the diesel heater. I'm setting up. That's it. That's all. I'm not changing it anymore.
So here's my one grief with flip is life. Todd, how far do you like to walk?
I waddle up to 300 meters.
And how far do you waddle with a sled that weighs that much? 150?
With this one, actually, no. I'll throw the harness on. Harness makes a big difference.
Yeah.
The couple of spots we do on upper K, I mean, again, I'm not a small dude, right? I'm over 300, 6'6". And, even my Evo 2, you throw a harness on, that's a game changer. Those clams, 98 pounds.
That's not bad.
Which isn't a lot. But
98 pounds isn't bad at all.
No.
You add framework, you add seats, and you're over double what you are with the pop-up. And you've mastered the pop-up kind of method. The difference is I'm a lazy fisherman.
Yeah, I just camp a lot. I just camp a lot.
Because Mitch is running a pop-up too, right?
Yeah, and it's a big Cabela's 5-side, and it's heavy. Like, it's big, it's bulky.
fully insulated.
It's heavy.
5 sides,
Like
right?
I wouldn't recommend, like, if I'm going to a lake to fish that you're sledding in, I'd rather just fill a backpack with something and throw an auger on my shoulders, pretty much.
Yep.
Yes. So Wes made a good point, like a ski-doo. Like that would definitely, if that's the option for sure. I think I'm gonna look into getting a quad. Just for Southern Alberta, there's not that much snow. I don't want to burn out a sled right away. So I feel like I would probably get a lot more use out of a quad down here, even
Yep.
in the summertime and whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a big pop-up guy. I've been using freight bills a lot over the past, I don't know, 7 years or so. Like the 6x12, they've always been good to me. The one big grief that I have is any door that opens all the way around and is just one continuous zipper, that does the big D, it's going to fail on you eventually.
Yeah.
It's going to either pull teeth out or it's going to fail on the stitching. I think Otter, Eskimo, all those brands, they kind of make the triangle one for that style of door, and then the walkthrough. I just picked up the Pro Resort, so I'm excited to try that out when I actually get a chance.
This one's French Assassin ran when we were down at that lake last year, right?
He's got the Monster Lodge.
Monster Lodge, right?
Yeah, and the Monster Lodge, don't get me wrong, that thing is absolutely sick. It's big. It's awesome. I've just had the rectangle shape for, like I say, 7, 8 years or so now. So I went with the hexagon one. I'm excited to try that walkthrough door, and I haven't really heard bad things about Otters, so excited to try that out.
I'm biased regardless because no one here makes ceiling height above 78 to 80 inches.
Yeah.
And in those hexes, the highest point is the center of the hub. I'm 6'6", man. Whoever out there is designing this for you short asses, congratulations. But there's a whole tall market, okay?
my Cabela's is not that bad. Like, with my boots on, I'm 6'4", and I don't hit the roof.
No, it's
what
it's
Cabela's one do you have?
It's the Ice Team. It's probably 40 years old now. They don't make them anymore.
Because they came out, so I was looking at the Hex Cabela's one, and they have the walk-through door too, right? But the walk-through door is like half the side, so there's no way to secure that side. Yeah. And I was like, whoever designed this doesn't live in Southern Alberta.
Dude, look at the Clam Bigfoots and how they didn't even have anchor points.
That's insane.
When we did Cold Lake last year, Alex and I are standing in the tent. And he's like, "You hear someone screaming?" I'm like, "No, what are you talking about, man?" Well, it's 60K winds, and the guy we're with, let's not go down that path. There's no anchor points for these tents.
Really?
So I pop out and I see his lantern where his tent was, and I see him screaming and running across the lake in the dark as you see a Bigfoot doing this down the lake.
No way.
Like, don't worry about the brand. Don't worry about what it is. If you can get it out there and it's got good anchor points and you properly fasten it and it's fully insulated, even if it is another 20 pounds, it's not a purchase you'll ever regret.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why everyone's selling non-insulated tents, because they didn't want to spend the extra. No offense, Costa or whoever, you hardcore anglers that have those non-insulated uncool tents. See you on Marketplace.
Yeah, just make sure, like, when you get the tent, you have secures those grommets on the bottom of the tent as well as your pullouts.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're not securing that thing.
I like the new style because they all, like, back in the day, the tab would pull out underneath. And I don't know, maybe there still are brands that have that, where the tab pulls out underneath and you screw it in through the grommet there. I like how seems like 95% of the brands anyways have gone to screw down on the skirt. And I think that's going to help big time with the draft and stuff. So I think that'll be a nice feature on the new shack.
And it depends too on your climate, right? Like, my nephew has a 4-man Frabel. It's not insulated. It's a cheap tent. Doesn't even anchor it down. It's perfect. Why is it perfect? Because it's -6, -8. Yeah. There's no wind. Even on a -20 day is like -10 with 80K winds here, right? So it depends on the region too a little bit.
Yeah.
I never anchor mine unless it's windy or I
Yeah.
tie it to the truck.
Yeah. We've been there.
Yeah.
As for the heater thing, I've never used a diesel heater. This man down here has. Propane heat, like realistically, like I use propane heat. I use a buddy heater. The biggest thing with propane heat is have a carbon monoxide detector with you.
Yep.
That's I mean it's a must. You got to have it. Try to get away from the sunflower, especially if you're overnighting. But propane heat just sucks regardless. Like it's moist, your throat's gonna hurt. Um, but yeah, I use a big buddy heater, and I hear a lot of people complain about them. I run the filter on it. When I hook my hose up, I blast my hose for a quick second because it is a pressure. You have to have pressure against it for it to actually release propane. Pressure your hose up for a second and then hook it up, and you won't shoot straight air in there right away, and you won't have any problems with it.
The fact that you got away from a sunflower, I'm like, you're so grown up right now.
Yeah, hey.
You moved up a notch in my books because I can remember going fishing with you and seeing you hunkered down around that thing all day. Drive me nuts.
So if people want to hear a funny story, I used to like have a brain, like I used to have somewhat of a brain, maybe not anymore. But when I used to like, so I camp a lot on the ice. I used to like camp with my sunflower heater, but I was like smart enough where I was like, you can't go to sleep with this on.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to go to sleep and ask Tasha, ask Todd. I've camped in like minus 47 with the wind chill, and I used to turn the heater off, go to sleep, and I would wake up freezing cold and be like, okay, I got to turn the heater on, warm up for 20 minutes, then go back to sleep for like an hour, hour and a half, wake up freezing cold, turn the heater back on. Don't sleep with those kind of heaters, guys. Sunflower heaters are not good.
No. I mean, I did make the switch to diesel this year, even though I've only used it indoors a couple times. Scott Stewart runs one. That he's really how I learned about them. I mean, the big setback is you need a 12 volt, right? That thing's going to consume some power. But if you're already battery, it doesn't matter. You're not going to have that gas hangover, which so many of us hate. We all know that it sucks. And in all honesty, big buddy heaters, as nice as they are, there's always something going wrong with them.
I've never had a problem.
The Flex,
I love mine.
I was so stoked for the Flex.
Yeah.
I have never beat the living shit out of a heater as bad as I beat my Flex up.
Yeah, the picture of that thing after you had your day with it was pretty rough.
Like, is there any worse feeling than, well, it worked when I left, and then you get out there and it won't work?
Yeah, hey.
That issue. It's just frustrating. And I mean, obviously the diesel can have just as many issues. I get it. I understand. But the versatility of what I have planned after exploding mine without even using it, if it works out, I think it's going to work really slick.
So if I wanted to camp for 3 nights with a diesel, I either need multiple batteries or I need a consistent power source, right?
A generator.
Yeah, that's the only thing that gets me on, and I can't deal with that.
Yeah, I know how you feel about gingers, but Scott's got some actually pretty cool video on his setup and stuff there. So, he's the one I learned from, and it was a wealth of knowledge. I think he did like 3 days on the one lake. He brought a generator just in case. I don't even think he ended up needing it. Right?
Didn't have to use it, eh? Huh, interesting.
And with the power that you have now with lithiums and stuff like that, I mean,
yeah, that's
trip, I mean, again, I'm pulling with a Skidoo, so if I'm camping overnight, I'm taking my generator anyways, right? As Marcy would call me, I'm a little bit bougie that way. I need to live high on the horse, man.
Yeah. Insulators are damn heavy. Otter what? Because like the Monster Lodge isn't that heavy.
Pounds for his. What kind of otter are you running?
It's got to be a flip because the Monster Lodge is like 80 pounds. You can dump a heap of snow on the walk-through door and use the triangles. Or yeah, for sure. Or like they say, oh, I'll try to point it out of the wind. Well, yeah, we all know how that goes. I probably am just gonna put like, I don't know. I bring so many pieces of wood with me to cover holes that I'll probably just throw a piece of wood over it.
But again, same thing for me. I'm biased because all the doors any of these manufacturers make are a joke. They're a sideways step for me regardless. So,
Yeah.
you know, 95% of the products out there aren't even designed for guys like me. Let's be honest.
You know
Well,
what you
luckily
need?
I am under 6 feet and under 200 pounds.
I have a term for people built like you, but I won't use it here.
Yeah, no.
Tougher than you?
Straight out of Deliverance, buddy.
I just got a big buddy this year.
Yeah.
I was
Which
running
one?
double pumper sunflowers forever.
Which big
Hey,
buddy
so-
are you running, bitch?
The big buddy.
The big
If
buddy.
Greg is still on here, and if I think Wes has a pro resort too, you guys run the big buddy in there and it's all good, or should I get a little buddy or like a
Looks like
regular sized
Greg-
buddy to go in there too?
If you're still running your 6x12, then do the big buddy.
Big
Yeah, like I
buddy
have a
is
big buddy, but it's the hexagon one. I don't know. I don't know.
like the big
At
buddy
the end of the day,
wound
you
out.
can turn your big buddy down if you have to.
Yeah.
Is that where you're worried about? It's too much, or
No, I'm worried
Yeah.
about like, should I have a second buddy for cold ass
I'd go
fucking
big
days?
buddy. Big buddy it. You
Yeah,
might
I
as
have
well
a
go
big
big.
buddy, but I'm saying, should I like to fish in my hoodie, man.
yeah,
Oh,
if
I
you
get
were
another
already
big
sleeping
buddy.
in minus 46 before your goal.
Yes, this is true. I'm probably just being a baby.
Because from my big buddy to my double sunflower pumper, it's like if it's cold, it's like plus 10 or it's plus 45.
Yeah.
Dude, this 540 tank top,
I just
this
bought
thing
one.
is warmer than the sun.
Yeah, I just bought one
Yep.
for my woodworking shop from KMS Tools. I wasn't sure about it. Man, those things are friggin' awesome.
But that
It was
thing
like-
puts off a lot of BTOs too.
Yeah.
It wasn't like
What-
super cold out, but Todd came with me camping one day and he came in my shack and it was on low. He came in my shack for 2 seconds and he's like, I can't even be in here, man. What is going on?
Yeah.
How many do you guys know the BTOs on that one?
That one's like 75,000 or something.
I can look it
No,
up.
I gotta be wrong on that. I
Yeah,
gotta
you're
be wrong. It's gotta be
totally wrong.
45.
I
45.
bet you it's like 45.
I think it's 45.
And a double pumper is 30 something?
Is it?
I don't know. I'm just winging stuff.
I'm gonna scroll it right now here and find out for you.
Either 45 or 50. Flex is garbage. Big Buddy is fire.
45, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, 45. Yeah,
That's
which
crazy.
is incredibly hot. We were
what's a
out
double
in
pumper?
NYD. What is it? What is that?
Do you know a double pumper?
I can't read that
sunflower?
fast.
I'm just. You got it?
One battery and one solar panel. I wish there was a way for people to post their pictures here for us to see.
Yeah.
I have a new segment idea for Mitch, even though I'm not going to be on the show a whole lot and I'm not involved in this part. Send your favorite photo of the week, or don't flood them. Don't flood them. But if you catch a beauty, send it to Mitch so that when I watch the show, I can see all these big, beautiful fishies you guys catch. Because I don't have the social medias.
You'll be on. You're on the more than anybody, Adam. So.
Am I? Yeah, on the show. Yeah, that's got to be annoying for these viewers, man.
This double saying 30,000, Mitch.
Yeah, I thought it was 30.
Yeah, the original Buddy Rick. Like, yeah, I've never had a problem. I really love mine. It's been great to me. Do you run a fan on the roof? Yeah, sometimes, but the one that I bought off eBay seems to die after like 2 hours, and then I get frustrated, and then I don't want to charge it. So for about 2 hours a trip, I do.
I bought a Coleman, but it takes battery, so it's not rechargeable, but it has the light in the middle and a foam fan.
Yeah.
Because the buttons are like right by the fan, and if it's dark or you're looking straight into that light, it's good. It's foam.
If I had half a brain, what I should have started doing years ago was filming all of the things that I bought that I thought would be cool, only to boot stomp them and just post boot stomping photos for the last 10 years because people were probably
Thanks, hooked up.
that's the boot stomp guy. Fans, heaters, there's been so many things everyone says that's going to be so cool. Try that. And I try it and it's absolute garbage. It might work for you, but most of that shit does not work for me.
It might have to do with some patience though as well.
Oh, I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Todd doesn't have that. He's not getting it anytime soon.
Kit probably also runs with about 3 heated jackets would be my guess. That dude is not built for the ice.
Who, Kit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kit, we got to fish this year at some point, buddy. Unsolicited dinky walleye pictures are on their way.
Yeah. You know what they say about the hero shot, right, Adam?
If I can get enough time off work, I believe we're fishing together, Brandon, at some point in January here.
Bullshit. You guys, like,
I run the wood stove fan.
I've been thinking about doing a wood stove in mine because my one zipper on the top broke right away. So I was just going to take out that whole door and just put welding screen in there.
Boys, if you want, I've got one in the garage right now. I will gladly boot stomp it for you. Tried it, been trying it for the last week, 2 weeks. Absolute garbage. Go buy the 540 if you want to be cheap or have heat. Just buy the 540, be done with it. Serious. I've got the wood fan thing I've tried out there. I've probably got 2 heaters I've kicked the crap out of trying it here in the last month. So we don't all have Brody money. I'll save you the $50. Don't waste your time. No offense, bud, but send me yours. I'll beat it up too.
The 540 is wild. It is super warm, guys. Just like I say, do not go to sleep with it on because as much BTUs as it does put out, it doesn't burn all the propane up. A lot of carbon monoxide being put out by it. So.
Yeah, that's crazy that it's that high. Like, I think
man, it's wild. Like, it's something fierce.
Because
don't put it too close to the wall of your tent because it'll burn your tent down. Not speaking from experience. I definitely haven't done that. I have been afraid it's going to happen, but
you know who has had that experience? You should ask him sometime. Is Darren?
Yeah.
That's why that stuff scares me. He had a leaky hose.
Yeah.
And she went up.
Oh yeah, you could easily have. I have a crazy story about a leaky propane hose. Can I go on like a 5-minute craziest Adam fishing story ever? Never. This is why I don't fish with random people. So one day this dude messaged me and goes, "Hey, bro, you want to go catch some fish?" And I was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Yeah, we'll go to this lake." And I was like, "Oh, okay, sure." And then so we're on the way there. Or sorry, no, let me back up. He first comes to my house at 4:30 in the morning, but he doesn't go to my house. He goes to the neighbor's house and rings the doorbell, wakes them up, and then they go, "No, Adam lives right there." And he goes, "Oh, I couldn't see the numbers, bro." And then he goes, I can't remember what he said. I don't know vehicles very well. He said something, blah, blah, blah. We don't have very good heat right now, but the heat will get going once we're on the highway, whatever that means. Probably radiator. I don't know, whatever the hell it is. Anyways, so it's really cold out, by the way. So we go all the way out to about an hour and a half away from where I live. And we're on the way out there. He goes, "I've never been here. Where do you want to fish?" I'm like, "Oh, so we're just burning my spot. Okay." So we go to my spot. Anyways, we get to my spot. And truck ride the whole way there is like freezing cold. And I get my shack set up. I start fishing right away. "Adam, we got to go, bro." I'm like, "What?" Like, I just set up. He's like, "Yeah, there's such and such fluid just leaked out of my truck, man." I'm like, "Okay." So then we like go to leave and we get like through the cattle gate and whatever hose blows. I'm guessing it's the radiator because I'm out of hose now. So it's probably the radiator. Anyways, the windshield is completely frosted. We're driving down the highway and they're scraping the the windshield with their cards, and it's a holiday, so we can't stop anywhere and get parts to fix it or whatever. We're literally driving down the number 1. It's minus 45 with the windshield, doing 100 with the windows half open, and they're scratching the thing with the buddy, or sorry, right before we left the parking lot, he goes to run his buddy heater, but the hose is frozen. So we switch it to my tank, and he holds his hose in front of the buddy heater, and he didn't have his hose shut off. Dude, not kidding you. He's sitting in the front seat holding his hose with his propane tank in the back, my propane tank in the back, the buddy heater on the center console. Him and his buddy are in the front seat. The propane, his hose thaws out, lights up. They bail out the freaking doors, bro. The child lock is on the back doors. I'm in this random dude's truck. Propane hose going on fire. Luckily, I'm not really dumb, and I shut the propane hose off. But he sees that the fire's out, walks over to the truck, opens my door. He goes, "That was crazy, man." I was like, "Yeah, you guys didn't think to open my effing door and let me out?" I flipped, bro. And then the dude messages me a weekend later. He's like, "You want to go fishing?" I don't answer it. Messages me constantly for 2 years. Want to fish? Want to fish? Want to fish? Finally, he messages me. He goes, "What, are you too cool, man?" I was like, "No, I just don't want to die, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry."
That's usually the first time you never want to fish with someone again.
I never met this dude in my life, and we just about died about 3 times. He's driving, scraping with his debit card because the windows all froze up. He's like, "Whoa, we almost just slammed into a semi." I'm like, "What?" Get me the home. What? And where I'm from, there's there's Redcliffe, and then there's 5 minutes down the highway, there's Medicine Hat. He's like, we go to his house and drop off the gear. He's like, "Yo, I'll just rip you home now." I'm like, "No, I'm taking a taxi, man." I'm like, "No." Worst experience ever.
That's Remind crazy. Me sometime to tell you a story about almost drowning at CVR. That's what it just made me think of. So,
yeah. Oh man, I when they came back to the truck and opened the back door because they knew it had a child lock on it. Because the whole day they had to keep coming and letting me out. They come over and let me out. I'm like, "What is wrong with you guys? You just bail out? What?"
That's the craziest Ty Batty story I've ever heard, man.
Ty Batty. One day I'm gonna fish with Ty Batty. That'll be cool enough.
He's a beauty.
Probably.
He is. Legit.
Probably is, man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I gotta fish with Kit. I gotta fish with Ty. I gotta fish with Brandon. I gotta fish with I have fished with Greg, but I miss Greg. Gotta fish with Greg. Yeah. Yo, I want to go fishing. I'm going fishing with Adam Gamble pretty soon. I'm really excited about that because that dude is actually super legit and cool, and we share the same name, which kind of makes us family. So yeah, we're basically brothers.
Are you guys gonna name the video the A Team?
I don't know. So I'm gonna continue shooting videos. It's just if you go on my YouTube, there's nothing there. I'm gonna continue shooting videos because I like making them. So I probably will, and I'll send you a privatized link of the A Team. Gamble is a beauty. The guy is a very positive. Awesome. When I think of the way that influencers in fit and I'm not beaking anyone in this conversation or anything like that. I want to get that straight. But when I look at the way an influencer should be and a really good fisherman should be on social media, Adam Gamble is your guy because he's not lying. He's not faking anything. He is good at what he does. He's really nice. Amber, you're pretty cool too. I don't want to call you family, but you're cool.
AAA adventures now.
AAA, man, that would be the sickest fishing adventures ever.
Yeah.
AAA adventures? Just no, or no, that's AMA. I was going to say, just no roadside assistance, but that's AMA.
Yeah.
But could you imagine? Oh, man, clients just out the wazoo.
I think it's called AAA in the States, isn't it?
I actually am heavily looking into guiding and buying a shop. I want to do that. That seems more fun than pipe fitting.
Do it.
It is.
12 hours a day is a lot of work.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. And like,
That's
Owning
why
your
I
game
I
is
mean,
double that time.
let's
so.
be real here. Fast and the Furious is the coolest movie ever. Could you imagine living the Paul Walker life of living in a fly shop? You you just like open this door and your bed's on the ground in the back of the fly shop. Don't get me wrong, I'm a bachelor. Maybe most people have bed frames.
You know how I know
But-
I'm old? You think Fast and the Furious from 1 to 500 is the coolest TV movie series ever made.
Dude,
I've
I live my
never
life-
wanted to
hey.
harpoon myself in the face so bad.
I live my life a quarter mile cast at a time.
I'm so happy the harpoons are locked up in my house right now.
There, you can buy the crow's nest anglers for sale still.
Still, wasn't it
Yeah.
up for like 1 mil or something insane?
No, it's like I think it was two.
It's 500 for the shop. It's 900
Is it
for
that
the
high
shop
now?
and the land next to it. That's got a shop on it.
I thought it was like 230 years when he first started selling it.
What?
Well, so and like I've had conversations. That dude is cool, man.
Three of us
He
are
just
already-
has no interest. Like
three
he's
of us
just
are
over
already
it, right?
pulled the minivan together. They've got
Yeah,
food.
dude, that's what I mean. I live in a. Okay, check this out. You're saying, okay, you're beaking the Paul Walker lifestyle. We're talking about living in a minivan that's jacked up, maybe nitrous, probably not though. Probably a
On
rod
track.
holder. Probably a rod holder. This is a 10-minute car, not a 10-second car. And living in the back of the fly shop, like, and owning it, like, that'd be like,
I'll do you one better, and I'm going to say it now because one day it'll happen and people will be like, that son of a gun, he was right. They have food trucks,
absolutely,
right? Why couldn't
absolutely.
they have fishing
If
trucks?
you're a businessman right now
Or a
and you're not
fishing
thinking
store.
of, and a fly angler
That's
or
a good
a
idea.
fisherman in general, and you're not thinking about buying that shop in that bunk ass, excuse me, left behind part of the province that is eventually going to boom, and you're going to have the biggest guiding business going because you're right on the side of the highway as you first come in, you're crazy not to want to
You're right. You should
Wow.
buy it. I'll start
turn it
mobile
into a
fishing
fly
fishing
and
truck.
spin
I'll
shop.
come to your town and crush your dreams.
Fly, spin, and
Fishing
ice
truck coming
angling.
to a
Guide
town
them all. Instead of having to go to Home Hardware or Walmart for your fishing gear down there, other than fly gear. Like, it's literally a gold mine if you think about it.
It is if you market it. Like,
Oh, yeah,
Crow's
this stuff's
Nest
not
is world
online. Like,
renowned.
there's so many things that he's missing that I'm not going to talk about because it literally
Take
makes
a Len
sense.
Thompson with a side.
It'll make you want to buy it, but anyway.
Len Thompson's and poutine. Sold.
I love poutine.
yeah,
We talked
no.
zero about predator fishing. That was great.
that's okay. I'll change the name after the show.
I just want to
But-
say, rest in peace, Ken Block. That's really sad. I know he's not a
That is.
fisherman, but Ken Block is huge to a lot of us, probably. Todd's like,
legend.
oh, who's Ken Block? But that was really sad to find out yesterday.
No,
You know what?
Todd's got a
Yeah.
racing seat behind him.
It's sad. I mean, yes, it's sad. The dude was what, 55?
Yeah.
54, maybe?
How many of us in this
Get to
life,
do and live exactly how we want.
right?
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Like, that is the thing, but like, still, like rest
It's
in peace,
sad.
dude.
But do you
He
think
lived
he right
his
now
dream.
is like, oh man,
Yeah.
he went doing what he loved? Sucks.
No, dude. No, dude. Absolutely.
No. He went out doing what he loved.
Yeah, he's literally on a snowmobile. That's crazy.
You
It's a
almost
shame.
went out over a propane hose, so I think Ken Block did all right.
I will call it fishing. I was on a fishing trip.
I'm going to
Yeah,
hell. I'm
no.
going to get messages from people.
That was a big loss in the extreme sports world.
Oh,
Like,
it
the
changes
guy was
everything.
a legend. Like, he
Absolutely.
lived every moment how he loved life, and that's,
Yeah.
I think, how everybody should. If you're not doing what you love, you got to
It's
start
just
trying.
it's,
to do
it's
it
like
better.
that's like the eye opener of it, right? It's just like, I mean, we could all have. I mean, sure, money's great. I mean, I would love to have more of it, but I'll tell you what, I can make the same amount of money or less than I'm making now and have the same cool experiences that I love to have, right?
Any of us would kill to make a living doing what we want and loving what we do every day.
Yeah, exactly. So just make the most of your days, because I don't know, that blew me away, because it wasn't too long ago I was watching the new. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a big fan of these electric cars, but what he does in that electric Audi is insane.
I haven't seen it. I'll check it out.
Oh, dude, it is insane.
Yeah, the dude was insane.
Oh,
Rest
yeah.
in peace, buddy.
Yeah.
It sucks, but hey, if there's a way to go out, it was doing exactly what he wanted to be doing. So
100%.
Exactly. That brings me back to still always, I'll never forget Big Johnny Boy, right? Went out fishing. That's the way to do it.
yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's time. It's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to get morbid or anything. These people were awesome. So.
Yeah.
100% legends.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why we got to talk about them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that kind of slowed down the show now.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
Point that finger at me again, and we're gonna have a whole nother issue, Mitch.
The what?
Well,
point that finger at me again, see what happens.
This one?
Last time I looked, this hat doesn't say Northwest Adventures, just saying.
I tried to give you one earlier. I'm saying I had them with me.
I'm just harassing you, man. I couldn't resist. You know me.
I don't know if Mitch, do you have these for sale? Where can people get them if you got them?
Man, I'm
They
so
just
bad
message you?
I have a box that's sitting here. I'm gonna ask Jay to maybe see if he can do them out of a shop, so I don't have to ship.
Well, Marcy and I are doing our yearly trip to Adventure Ice Fishing there to see the family on the 27th and 28th. So I'll come grab one from you.
Yeah, I got
and I want to get up there up north, because hooked up there. Adam walked through the shop there. It's weird saying that, because I actually really don't know anybody named Adam other than Adam Gamble. But anyways, Adam walked through the shop there, and he was flashing all the stuff, and I seen some Taylor fly reels in that case.
Oh yeah, man. Taylor rods.
Dang.
We stopped by when I came through the other day, and me and Dad stopped by, and I picked up a new Fenwick 42.
Is that the Tecna?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's nice rod.
So. This rod feels sick.
Yeah.
Oh.
I gotta go fishing at some point.
PB
pike. He asked what our PB pike is. What is it? Who's going first? Todd.
What's pike? Is that pickerel?
That is that thing with the teeth, and it swims funny. It's green, smells weird.
I don't know what length my ex-wife. Oh, sorry, the fish. My PB pike is 42 and a half.
Yeah, and that is open water, correct?
You got her. You know exactly.
I seen you that day. I seen you, and then you disappeared, and all of a sudden he's got a 42.
That was when we used to do online tournaments, and I stacked 100 inches in my first day, and then people were magically not paying to go in the tournament.
Too much winning.
What about you, Mitch? What's your PB?
Open water's 46 and a quarter.
Oh.
Then ice I think it's only 41.
Yeah. I'm 45 and a half. And it's ice. I don't know what my PB open water one is. 40, I think.
I would have to say my ice record is probably
39 and 3/4 open water. Yeah. I haven't caught a 40 open water.
So your 45's on ice?
Yeah, 45 and a half, yeah.
Honestly, I don't think I've broken 40 on ice.
No?
No. I've been close, but not that I can think of breaking a 40. I've never really broken it into open water and ice fishing, to be brutally honest.
See, I don't really open water fish pike. I'm just not I don't know. I'm just not a fan of it.
48 in the kayak. Are you?
Yeah, 48 in a kayak. What was it, longer than the kayak?
Yeah, what was that walk about like?
48-inch kayak. Oh yeah. I know where you got that. It's gonna be blown out soon, but
You must have calves the size of a friggin' rhinoceros there, because 48 in a kayak.
I out of that lake there. I was there the one day. Guy pulled a 48 through the ice.
Yeah, okay. It's not like they don't exist for sure.
And
There
the
is
lake,
50s caught, and like there is 50s caught in southern Alberta, whether people want to
Yeah,
fully admit it or not.
I
this
know
lake
of
got-
2 caught this year, but that's got to be
That's
rare.
the dream, really. Like, I mean, like, okay, so I've always had this thing where it's like, oh, I want to catch a 40-inch pike, and I want to catch a 44. Oh, your PB's 45. I want to catch a 46. Like,
yeah.
honestly, like when the first one I said there, 40. That's the goal, man. Like, if you ever catch a 40-inch pike, 47 spin, 42 fly, 42
Dang.
fly. That's got to be like, heck. Oh, that's got to be
Man.
fun. What weight rod is that?
Not to mention, you caught a pike on the fly that's probably bigger than your child.
100%.
That's scary to me, Amber. What the hell?
They're just I love when they just cruise under your hole. Like when you
Probably
go
how
to
she trained, eh? She just tied it around her kid. Just
my open water pike's from the Yukon, so it's kind of cheating.
well,
no, it's not cheating. It's just
really
not
cheating.
the same.
Personal best is personal best.
Yeah,
10 weight.
100%. Yeah.
On the old on a Buford hand tied by Amber herself, or what? Let's get the whole
think it
story.
was. I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, like she taught, like Amber ties like beautiful flies. Chris as well. Like their Bufords are awesome.
I think Chris copied from Amber. Isn't that the rumor I heard?
Pardon?
Chris copied the flies from Amber.
I think
so.
they both copy from Lincoln. Really,
I'm just joking.
I think it all comes from Lincoln. Lincoln is the knowledge behind their pike fishing. Back to the hunt for big pike lakes. I don't know, like there's big pike in every lake. That's like a huge misconception. Is like, sure, you can catch big pike in any lake. Like you just have to find them. Honestly, like they're there. You bet, Amber special. Nice. That's awesome. See, that's what's super cool. Is like, not only did she catch her PB, it was on the fly, which she loves to do, and it was on something that she tied herself. Like that's when it's like the most epic, right?
Pike are crazy though, man. They're always where you don't expect them. You can ask Tash. I've caught pike in places where it's like not in a million years did I expect to see one.
Oh yeah, I've seen Tash, and not just Tash. I've seen multiple people catch out of the same creek, 40 inches, and the creek you can jump across in almost all of it.
Well, look at the one they caught in Airdrie, Ty, and those guys caught a couple years ago in Airdrie.
Yeah,
No one would ever
they're big pike are around. They can survive. It's just whether or not you're set up when you hook into one to actually handle one.
A couple years back, many years, I guess. Now, I think I pulled 42-inch, 20-some pounds out of Bower Ponds in Red Deer.
Bower Ponds?
Yeah, and like we used to fish it for trout before they stocked it, or when they used to.
See, I don't think that's fair. That fish crazy. Is probably on like steroids, all kinds of crazy stuff that we won't say on this podcast. But that fish is not natty. That fish is the liver king. Like, he's like, oh, I've never done anything in my life. Yeah, you lived in Bower Ponds, bro. The roughest neighborhood in the water.
Now.
The roughest water neighborhood in Red Deer that fish grew up in.
Yeah. He's from the streets.
His only structure was stolen bicycles.
Stolen bicycles and shopping carts.
And the odd Nissan.
And that's why he grew up so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was probably pressing those in the morning on the beach.
Dude, he was caught on a muskrat.
Flosses with bike cable.
We're ridiculous.
Yeah.
This is a podcast about knowledge.
See, I like the way Greg talks. Okay, no one really talks like that. This is my goal. The dude sets goals.
What that you gotta have goals, man.
No, you don't.
If you don't have a goal, if you're just going fishing to go fishing, someone said to me one time, they go, and like this is something that like I don't necessarily do that much, but like it's something that I take pride in because I always kind of research it and make sure I know so that if I do want to do it, I can do it. They're like, oh, walleye are stupid, but if you can pattern big walleye, that's cool. Well, patterning big walleye probably the hardest thing to do in Alberta.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go fish spillways in open water. Honestly, patterning big walleye is really hard to do. I don't care what anyone wants to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I love doing that. That's so much fun to me. It's one of the toughest things it's fun. Everyone, they don't fight. Well, go catch a 30-incher that weighs 13 pounds and tell me it didn't fight.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't believe.
Meanwhile, you're catching 15-inch stock rainbow trout. I don't care.
The only goals I really enjoy watching is you see a lot of people, especially this year, posting how many of the species they've caught in Alberta.
Yeah.
That's a cool goal to have. Other than that,
Yeah.
I don't set goals.
Yeah. I I'm so like for instance, Greg there, Greg saying he wants to catch 31-inch walleye, 46-inch pike. That's absolutely that's what you kind of in my head, that's what I do anyways. Yeah. Same thing when it comes to sturgeon season. It's like, okay, I want to catch this. Or, for instance, I want to catch this many over this size.
Yeah. But a dude with a tongue ring should have goals. Let's be honest.
Yeah. Because if you're going out and you're just going out to fish, you're still gonna do all right, but you're gonna do better. You're gonna force yourself to do better if you have a goal. And that's why I say it's important for me to have competition. Because it's like, for instance, like I say, I don't always like to go fish big walleye, but it's like I didn't fish big walleye all open water. And then it was like, what am I doing? Like, I should do this. And then it was like, oh, walleye wars. I had the opportunity to fish walleye wars. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I went and did what I wanted to do. And it just, I don't know, it makes you feel good. Like it's like, oh, okay, I didn't win. I don't care.
But is that why you?
I did exactly what I want to do. I wanted to go catch a 30-inch river walleye, and I ended up doing it 3 times over in a week.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it's the best I can do.
Is that what has led you to not want to fish for the last month, maybe?
What? Fishing walleye?
Fishing walleye wars?
No, what's led me to not want to fish for the last month is I work 12 hours a day constantly, and then if I do get a day off, it's like, I can sleep today. And then I'm like, maybe I'll drop my truck off and get my tires done. And then my tires turn into, somehow we managed to drop your tie rod, park your truck, and not tell you about it, so that when you got in it and started driving, you almost crashed into a building. And then we tell you it's not a big deal. So then I'm just like, well, I'm just going to stay at home for the weekend, make sure my truck works well. And it worked well, so maybe I'll try to go fishing this weekend.
Yeah. No.
The only problem is I don't know, you go get your tires done and all of a sudden your CD player doesn't have power to it anymore. So now I don't have power to my CD player. So now I need to look at my fuses. I'm a fisherman.
8 tracks are coming back, baby.
Okay.
Alberta needs No. Tell me why.
Why Rick's right? I've been saying.
Yeah. Why do we need a master angler program in Alberta?
Because I feel accomplished. That's why.
Okay. It ruins bodies of water, and Alberta is way too small and has way too little lakes, and it'll increase the pressure.
I think.
Let me finish. It'll increase the pressure on those bodies of water way too much.
Way to go, Rick.
Mitch,
now Adam and I are friends off for the 4th time.
Wait.
One sec. Just one sec. Mitch.
I think this is another show.
Just one sec. No, this isn't a joke. Mitch, that 48-inch pike that was caught at open water by Broden.
Done. That lake's done.
Okay. Imagine if that lake was on a master angler program.
Yeah, but it's already.
You guys are still catching 40s. It would have been done.
Yeah, if you register it. But
there's walleye that I catch. There's walleye that I catch from a certain body of water that I will never even tell my closest friends about because I know what will happen and I know how small of body water it is. It's not like I totally agree that the Master Angler program, Rick, is a great program. It is proven already in Alberta that social media is taken advantage of way too hard.
Yeah.
If we put extra pressure on by putting Master Angler program out there and say bull trout is involved in that, well, now these rivers where bull trout are being caught are now overpressured. Well, now that 36-inch bull trout that you see out of the Sheep River that gets caught by 6 guys every year off its spawn bed, whether they want to admit it or not, never reproduces. That fish never gets seen again, and we no longer have that fish attainable to most people.
The pin looks cool.
Sure, the pin looks cool. It's from a different
But-
province that can handle that sort of pressure. Talk to
yeah.
people in Manitoba who are very serious, hardcore anglers and ask them if they are interested in entering their fish in that. They're not. They don't
But
care.
I think if Alberta did it, they'd have to do it with the confidence, like
Then it completely
running
eliminates
it
the
through,
reason
like
for the
a
program.
fish donkey or
The reason is to
whatever.
promote fisheries
We all know they'll never do it.
because it'll
If they were
destroy
going to do it,
Alberta.
it started at 100 years ago, and our forecast as a fishing province would be different, and it's absolute garbage.
I
Even
100%.
It wouldn't be advantageous to any of us because we'll all be dead.
Yeah. And I mean, like, no disrespect by saying that the Master Angler program wouldn't work here. It just simply, we can't manage our lakes as it is.
Yeah.
We do not need to increase the pressure on the ones that fish well.
At the end
I
of the
believe
day,
we have. I have a different opinion than a lot of people, and I think that we do have a lot of good fisheries in Alberta that do offer incredible trophy potential compared to the amount of bodies of water we have. It's actually insane, but we do not need to highlight those. We need to work hard to figure out how to maintain them, and we need to work hard to figure out where they are so that we can go fish them ourselves so that we can do better.
All I know is Rick's getting your address, no charge, not even charging $50.
You're
Rick,
probably
I'll
sending them my
address
pins.
you up chat.
But we already discussed that I've been sending you pins for 7 years that lead you to nowhere zones and lead you to sunset pictures. And I'm so glad that you have finally figured it out.
But Broden, I'm accepting your 50, bud.
I don't think we have to like if Alberta did something like that. I think it stays. You don't know the lake, the same as all the tournaments and whatnot.
So you just want a pat on the back?
People love pats on the back.
I know that's the whole problem with society.
That's the issue with a society that's been raised that there's no.
Yeah, that's the whole reason I'm off social media. I'm tired of people getting pats on the back who don't deserve it.
Lots of people need
like, you know what? Like, I made it, and like, this was a huge controversy last year, and it was funny. I said, hashtag hero shots dead.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. You didn't understand what I meant. I meant the hero shot is dead by not every fish deserves it. Like,
yeah.
Like, there's 30-inch bull trout that deserve to be, boom, grip and grin, boom, back in the water.
I'll give you the perfect example of what pisses me off.
But if you catch 15 bull trout in one day and they're all 20 inches or under, you don't need pictures of them. Let alone to post them all, because all you're looking for is a pat on the back to say, look at me, I did this. I can do it too. I don't care. Like, people be like, oh, I can go fishing more, whatever you want to say. Like, whatever, just go, man. Just have fun.
People take the education component seriously, nothing is ever going to change. The lake we fished in my hometown lake growing up, conservation officer, first time ever in my life, checks us. There's a guy there that has his limit, and I'm not lying, catches a fish with the conservation officer watching, and because he wants a picture because it's a big fish, walks it probably 200 feet across the lake to his buddy to capture a picture for him before he releases it.
Yeah.
And we want
got enough blind pike in my day to know that people are holding their pike out of the water a little too long in winter.
education, man.
Yeah.
100%.
And everyone wants to deny it, but like, I mean, there's a reason. Like the lake, like that's the lake that you talk about, Mitch. There's a reason that lake is going to crap.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's done. Like last year, only a couple of people knew. This year, it's done.
Ask Greg Rice about that. He's had that situation 100 times over.
But
that's the thing. And just like,
works.
I don't know, like, I don't want to say I don't like to fish with people, but I just don't like to like be like, okay, like, oh, let's go fishing. Oh, where do you want to go? Like,
well, when you have a good, like, there's people that fish with like 3 people, and there's people that fish with a ton of people.
Yeah, and like I'm the 3 person.
Those people that you're fishing with, 4 friends becomes 8 friends, then 8 friends becomes 27, then 27 becomes 130. Yeah. That's just the way it works.
I'm the first one to admit that I've fished with lots of buddies and gone to their spots, never shared them, still have them on my phone, still go there once in a while. We all know certain people that we were friends with before that we're not friends with before for that exact same reason, because they don't want to put the time in. Just because I go to your spot and fish with you or do this or that, whatever, doesn't mean I'm not taking the time to learn and understand it.
And there's a huge difference, in my opinion, between me and my buddy went and fished a spot. Yo, dude, I'm gonna go fish a spot. And me and my buddy went and fished a spot. I'm not gonna say anything, and I went with someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
like people just want for me, and like people get mad at me about it. And like this maybe like eventually led to the point of me getting completely off social media. People would get mad at me about it, but they would do it to me. I would delete you off all my social media. Yeah. I don't have a problem with you. We're just not going fishing again unless we're going to a really generic spot, and I'm not having pictures up because you'll know where I am.
It's respect.
And I'm not giving, like, I'm into helping. I'm not into giving away. Like, I don't know. Like, no one gives me away anything. Like, really, like, because I don't ask. Like, I don't know. Like, if I have quite general questions, like, hey, like, oh, like, what, like, I'm really struggling with this. What's been working for you? To the same few people. Like, and then it's like, I'll give credit where credit's due. Like if someone's like, even for instance, I've had people that like I don't necessarily get along with, and I've been talking on the show here, and I've been like, this person taught me this. Like I don't care, like whether we get along or not. Like if someone teaches you something, give credit where credit's due, especially if you're talking about it and carrying on about it on social media and stuff. Like that's like one of the biggest things. I know guys who have guided people, and then the person takes a picture from the trip and says exactly what the guide told them at that moment, and they'll be like, I word for word said this to them. Like that's just rude. What do you got a big smile about?
My beautiful wife just walked into the room doing something she assumed was no longer live. So for another $20 e-transfer, I will gladly take the filter off my background and people can partake. The view. Times are tough, man. She's still laughing.
Yeah, no, I'd like to touch on that a bit too, though. Like, you take someone somewhere, then they just blow up your hole. Like,
yeah,
I let limited people fish with me, and I'm lucky that some people let me go on trips with them as well.
Do you know what's funny
and
about
it's
it?
Just like I it's like, okay, let's go here, let's fish. I'm not gonna say, hey, don't tell this person that spot. It's kind of like an unwritten rule, kind of, if I bring you to my hot spot.
And you're a guide, and you have to deal with that.
Right? Well, guiding's, when it's hot in certain areas, and it's that's why you're a guide. People are going to tell everybody in certain areas. They go fishing with you, then they're going to tell your friends and stuff. So you're never giving up your good spots, right? You have a hot spot, you're going to deal with it. And now
Produce
with the
numbers
fishery,
for the client. Whatever.
yeah, the fishery in decline, but there's a lot of stuff in Central Alberta that is on the uprise right now as well.
Yeah.
So that's good. But I will not do certain trips anymore in Central Alberta for certain species because it's not adequate for. If I pay a guide to go fishing, I want to catch fish, and I want to catch a number of fish, and I want to catch quality fish.
Yep.
So I'm changing my whole guiding aspect. Like every year, I'm only focusing on different areas that I know I can put you on a quality fish that the pressure might be there, but you're still going to catch fish. And if that spot, people know about the spot, but I know you're going to catch a quality fish, right?
I agree.
You're not going to blow out your best spots.
Yeah, no. And like, I mean, I've taken people to some of my like favorite spots and stuff. Like, I mean, but there are people that I trust, and they don't burn me. So then you can earn another. Like, okay, well now I know that we don't have an issue about that. Dino, you don't even drive. And like things like Dino, I'll be like, Dino, let's go hit this spot, and he'll be like, yeah, I'm never going in there again. Why did you make me do that?
You know what pisses me off? Dino is one of my best friends, but that dude pisses me off. You know how many times I've gone to a spot that he's been like, oh yeah, we'll go fish here. And then you go there and some guy's like, yeah, Dino will give me this spot. Like, I love him for it, but man, do I want to knock the guy out. Because I'm like, quit giving your good spots. Give them to me. That's fine. But the dude's got such a big heart. He just passes them on to everyone. And I don't have that patience, man. I just don't. Good on you, but
Here is the mind blower on that previous question there. You got lots of questions. People want to know about presentations. And I do too, and I really appreciate those. Those are the questions that people should be asking. The unfortunate part when the locations come into play are actually the people that you think you should be respecting is the biggest problem.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are sniping locations are people with knowledge enough to snipe locations. Joe Blow in the store saying, hey, should I run I heard I should run something like a wire worm or something for whitefish. That person's not going to go look at a background and go, yeah, I'm going to go there and catch that fish and burn that dude's spot.
Yeah.
They're the good guys.
Yep.
The good guys. And that's why I'm not on social media anymore. You won't see, like, I'm not, like, even the picture from tonight. That picture's 3 years old. I don't care. You're not coming and seeing anything new anymore. Like, it's not, and like, I don't know if it's arrogant of me, like it's secretive of me. It's not even secretive of me. Like, if you want to go fishing, call me and we'll go fishing. I know to not take you to my banger spots until you earn that respect. Like, I can see that there's the respect there. But the location thing is actually a problem with the guys who should be respecting the location thing a lot more.
Yep.
It's not even the, like, I don't want to even say bottom end because that almost sounds rude. It's not like the everyday Joe Blow, the weekend warrior guy who doesn't really know much and just wants to learn a little bit, has a couple goals for the season, wants to catch a few perch for the family. Like, he's not the guy to worry about burning locations.
No.
It's the dudes that should know better.
Yep.
Like, I know dudes who literally go around, they'll see a nice fish caught, they'll be there the next day or the next weekend or a couple days later trying to literally catch the exact same fish. That's pathetic.
Yeah, it is. And they'll see that fish caught, then they'll go there, then they'll catch that fish, then they'll just get repeated every weekend.
Like, you didn't do anything cool.
Yeah.
No, half the time I go
funny
fishing.
Broden mentions that because I would rather post a shitty picture than to, like, for me, if I catch the fish and I want a picture, I want to release it quick. So I'd rather have a shitty picture than have a background. And I got one buddy of mine that every time we fish, it's, you know, it's an okay picture, but it shows everything in the back. And I'm like, dude, you're defeating the purpose. We're not here. It's too bad that we've gotten to that point. We're not here to share where we are. We're here to share what we're getting.
And then like the other thing is like, and like to add to that is like, oh, push it a little further. Like, if you want to look at my face, subscribe to my OnlyFans.
What that channel?
Really? Like, what do you want to see my face for? Like, what?
What's
Here's
your
the
channel?
fish. This is what you're looking at. Like, you want to see my face? Subscribe to my OnlyFans, man, bro. Get real.
What's your link?
Are you back on OnlyFans?
No, I should. Like if I'm gonna get social media, that's gonna be it. Toenail pictures.
Only fish.
OnlyFans. I actually think that would be so funny to be like, yeah, I got an OnlyFans page, and then people like log on, it's only fish pictures. They
Maybe
already
there's
paid $20.
people that need
Get
that.
your $20 back, man.
But yeah, with everybody that's going off crazy about wanting to go fishing, like I went fishing with Adam. I caught my first sturgeon with Adam. It wasn't a monster. I caught a bunch of those smaller ones, but hey, that's insane. Like,
I sucked back then.
you never sucked.
No, like,
And I was
so like,
pumped.
and like,
I was so pumped when I caught that fish, and they're just so,
oh, dude,
like, awesome.
Maybe we're just
I like they're probably my favorite. They're probably my favorite. I've put so many hours into not only just sitting on that bank, but studying and learning about them, just droning them and watching their movements, how they act, how they feed, so that I know what's going on. So that I'm super, like, over the past few years, it's gotten super dialed. But like, man, watching people fish sturgeon is my favorite. It's my absolute favorite.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'll
take anyone, anytime. Anytime anyone wants to go fish sturgeon, it's as simple as just message me and ask me to go, and then don't come back there with 40 people and blow my spot.
Only a $500.
I'll sleep there for 4 days, and you'll never get that spot. And it's not that good if you don't have it.
$500 deposit to go fish with Adam on the super. You're gonna catch monster sturgeon, so just pay him.
Sturgeon fishing. When that season comes up, guys, and we're talking about pike fishing, and so sturgeon and pike, same thing. Keep those fish wet. And don't put them on like sturgeon. Don't put them on the sand. Pike, don't put them directly on the ice. Quick measurements. It doesn't, like, if you're really worried about like breaking your PB by a 1/4 inch or something like that, like, get over yourself a little bit. Maybe it's not that important. Get a rough measurement and then get that fish back in the water. If you're going to weigh these fish, this is something that I want to pound into people's head because it never gets old. Pike hanging from their gills, walleye hanging from their gills. Stop doing it. Don't do it.
Simple. If you're not keeping it, get your quick picture, release the thing.
I even see sturgeon hanging from the gills. I understand wanting to measure and weigh sturgeon. I do understand wanting to measure really big pike. I don't necessarily understand weighing them. But like, get the proper tools. Have a cradle to weigh those fish. Yeah. Like, have a cradle. Weigh your cradle. Oh, okay, my cradle weighs 5 pounds. Boom. Like, yeah, Todd's seen me do it. I can weigh, measure, and I had a video on my YouTube. I can catch, measure, weigh, and release a 60-inch sturgeon in under 10 minutes. Under 10 minutes. From the hook set to the release. Under 10 minutes. There's no reason to fight fish for an hour. Whether it's a pike or whether, like, you're fighting them to the point they're dead. Oh, it swam off. Yeah, to go die from its heart attack that you gave it. Like, don't fight them super long. If you're going to weigh them in something that supports their entire body. I don't care what kind of fish it is unless you're keeping it. And when you're measuring them, don't put them on sand or ice, or put them on something soft or a bump board or whatever. Quick, boom, go.
You just have to do a show from the river.
Because like the biggest thing is like, so why is that lake going downhill? Because people aren't handling the fish properly.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Why is Newell? Everyone's like, oh yeah, you go to Newell and catch a 40-inch pike easy. Oh really? No, you can't.
Not anymore.
And it's getting harder and harder and harder to do. Like unless you know exactly what to do, it's really tough. Anymore. And like you used to be able to fluke them no problem. But yeah, get a cradle.
There you go.
Get a bump board. I mean, the days of tape measures and throwing them on the sand, I think we're all a little more grown up than that. We might have all done that at some point. Whatever.
100%.
Just try to always improve, right? Just try to always improve. If you have a question, if you're like, hey Adam, I think when sturgeon season comes, I'm gonna want to measure them. How do I measure something that's 60 inches long? Send me a message and I'll tell you how to do it. I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you the whole setup. I'll send you a link to the video. I'll send you the link to the video. Like, I don't care. I don't want things public anymore. I don't care. People will be like, oh, you're trying to, like, I don't know. It's not about it's not about me wanting to not share anymore. It's that the wrong people are getting the information.
Yeah.
So many people I've seen fight big pike or walleye. Yeah, I've caught a 40-incher at Newell, for instance, on 8-pound mono. It took 6 minutes. Like what takes an hour? What are you doing to take an hour?
No one should take an hour at all.
No, dude. There's like, I mean, I've never fished the saltwater. I can't think of a freshwater species that takes an hour to beat, other than maybe like white sturgeon on the Fraser. Yeah, sure.
I mean, white sturgeon, even at I guess it depends on the angler, but I mean,
it can go
white
bigger.
Sturgeon was 8-1. It took us 40 minutes.
Yeah, like maybe like a 13-footer on a little old me might be tough, but like I can catch I'll bring a 60. I mean, my biggest is 63.5. Bring a 63.5 in and definitely under 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I mean, 50-pound line. I mean, it's not that heavy, but you just got to know how to side pressure. You got to know when to give them when to give them the gears.
Exactly, Jay. Yep.
Yeah.
Even under gun though. So like here's my thing. So like look at like anglers like, here's a terrible example. Meredith McCord. She breaks all kinds of line class records fishing big fish. It's about pressure. How to put pressure on the fish to make it do what it doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
And you'll break its will and you'll beat it. If you make the fish do what it doesn't want to do for long enough, it's giving up.
Yeah, it's all about head turning.
If you have your drag set to freaking 1 out of 100, it can do whatever it wants to do, and it'll fight you for as long as it wants to.
Like most people are talking about open water, I think, right now, but like open water,
it's hard to fight fish through the ice for very long.
Change the head.
Yeah, man. Like side pressure. Side pressure is a huge thing. Fly anglers are like whether you want to admit to fly anglers understanding how to fight fish better than spin anglers, for the most part, they really do. They're because they're undergunned almost all the time. Whether you want to admit it, a 5-weight rod is undergunned for a 20-inch stock trout.
Yeah.
Realistically, you're undergunned, man.
But you can get it in quick as long as you're.
But you can get it in quick if you know how to put pressure on it. Oh, okay. I'm using 4X and I got a 10-pound togger on. That's okay. I'm just going to turn its head this way. Oh, he's going to try to make this run. Boom, he's over. Oh, fight's over. He's in the net.
Yeah, keep him working.
Yeah.
Make that fish work. If it wants to go that way, turn its head that way. If it's going that way, go just repetitively change it.
Yeah.
Because that'll bring fish in. Like when I catch big pike in the summer, I like even on 8-pound line, I chase them with a boat.
Or yeah,
It's
if you
all
have
about
that option,
chasing.
yeah, sure.
I chase them.
Yeah.
I will definitely chase a fish, big pike and everything, just to get them out quick. We'll chase them with the boat, stay on them. Like
Probably
stay
still have a
right
live video
behind
of
them
you doing that.
so you can scoop them quick. And it just makes that much easier on the fish.
Mm-hmm.
Ice fishing's not as easy.
Yeah, like I don't know, like I say, I mean, I had my mom out this year fishing sturgeon, catching 50s, and she was handling them in 10 minutes. So if it's taking longer than that, you're doing something wrong.
100%.
Might be an unpopular opinion. I don't care though. So many people I've seen fight big pike and walleye, then think I'm stupid for not fighting the fish for longer. Yeah,
Just
I don't
gotta
know. I
crank
don't
them
know why
in
you'd
pretty
want to
much.
fight fish for a long time. I like fighting fish too. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, and that's what I mean. Yeah, you a 10-foot fish, man. That's twice the size of me, man.
Yeah.
Running them down. Heck yeah. Way too many people unfortunately do this. Yeah, man, like it's a big problem. I think like there's heat for hunting. I don't think there's necessarily a need. I think there's a need for fish identification. There's people who talk about a need for a course about the eastern slopes or the eastern slopes before you can fish them. I don't know if there's a need for like a.
I think there's
I
just
don't
a
know if there's a
need.
need for a course. It's a lack of respect. Dude, if you don't know that a fish shouldn't be out of the water for a minute, 10 minutes, if you don't know that a fish shouldn't be rolled in the dirt or laid on the ice or held up in the -40, you don't have any respect. It's simple.
Maybe you should be held underwater for 10 minutes.
Well, I mean, that's Todd's opinion.
I mean,
But yeah, like, I don't know, like we all
well,
start somewhere. We all start somewhere. Okay, yeah, like, oh, Gil held this walleye. Okay, hey man, next time, gill plates here. Gill plate support the stomach, so it's not all its organs aren't getting crushed
I'm
down.
just going to start calling them out.
Yeah,
I'm
and like
not.
respectfully though, like there's been a reason I haven't been on fishing pages for years because it's ridiculous. Now,
I'm
have I been
100%.
guilty of calling? Have I been guilty of getting into some arguments? Yeah, but with people that I thought should know better.
And I mean, let's be honest, there are situations where it's beyond your control. I mean, my PB brown trout that I caught, I'll never be able to post pictures of it because the one time I did, people just don't understand the situation. I had no choice but to deal with that one the way I did, right? And
Well,
so
I couldn't hold my breath for a long time, so I'm not doing
that.
that.
Yeah, no, it's every situation's different. Like you
One
have to
time,
address it.
One time I kept a brown trout out of the water too long with Todd because it hooked me so deep in the hand that I thought I was going to die. At least Todd thought I was going to die. You want to take a picture with my fish because we can't get it unhooked from you?
I'd have to repost that picture now.
That one's a beauty.
Yeah, no, there's so much fish handling stuff. Like I don't remember the last time I measured a fish. Like
I
just
do
post
because
a
sturgeon
fish.
season is just wild for me, really. Like
Yeah,
everybody, and that's the other thing is like if you're fishing with people or like not with people, if you're fishing by yourself and there's people over there and they're doing something wrong, instead of sitting there to yourself going, "Those people are idiots and I am the best," go give them a hand.
yeah.
Like Todd will probably attest to the fact when I'm sturgeon fishing, I probably miss more sturgeon than I actually catch
You're always
because
helping.
I'm running around to this. Oh, this guy's down here and he's fishing by himself, and I can tell he's got a nice fish on. So I'm just gonna go down there and I'm gonna tail it for him and have my phone ready for him so I can take a picture. Boom! Oh, your fish is gone. There you go. Have a good day, buddy.
Yeah.
Instead of like,
100%.
I've seen some pretty disgusting things now.
Yeah, 100%.
At least you have the patience. I don't.
Like I know Friday it's not the same at all, but a guy came by our shack and he's like, "Hey, I'm from Ontario. What are you guys using for whiteys? I'm here for the weekend." So I gave him a bunch of flies, the spoons and stuff that we use. On that lake, I've never caught a whitefish, but I know whitefish in general will go after these certain things. And from the lake, I saw there was a bunch of shrimp and everything. I gave him the right flies and everything, and he was just gracious, like super pumped. And he's like, he went on a site. He said he went on a site earlier that day or earlier that week, and everyone just gave him the kibosh and threw him under the bus for asking a question.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, no, that sucks, man. Like, he was just walking around. He was at his son's cabin or something. And I'm like, well, just try this. Here's some flies. Here's some spoons. Go test them, man. Like, they work everywhere. The bait's there. They should work. And hopefully he did good.
My favorite story, like, about this when that's happened to me is, like, one time I'm sturgeon fishing and I'm fishing with a buddy and I like look over and these dudes walk up and they got Canadian Tire bags and you can tell their rods are brand new. Everything that they got is about to be brand new. And they come up and they sit real close and I'm like, well, I'm glad we're leaving because if we're not, these guys would be tangling us right away. Like, there is just no doubt about it, right? So, anyways, these guys get all rigged up, blah, blah, blah. They cast out. We're putting our carts away and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, I see this guy hook up. So I go over and I give him a hand. And as he's fighting this fish, he goes to me, he goes, "You're the horseshoe kid." And I go, "Yeah." Yeah, that's me. I'm Adam. He's like, "I watched your videos and I came here and I seen you. So I knew I got to go sit next to that guy because if I sit next to him, I'm going to get one." And I like tailed this fish, landed it for him. He gives me the story. He's like, the dude was from Louisiana. He had met Dino's like the day or 2 days before at Newell by randomly bumping into him. And Dino's was like, if you want to catch a sturgeon, go watch this kid's videos and go to this place. Boom, this dude catches a fish. He's like the whole, I'm trying to leave. He's like, "Thank you so much," like for like 10 minutes, man. It was like coolest thing ever.
That's cool.
Yeah. So like that is the stuff that I love about social media and sharing and helping and all that fine finazzle jewelry. It's when I go to that spot and it's like, hi. And it's like, I know I've been burned. Like, you know, like without putting it any other way, it's like I've been burned. Like
the flying J
simple as that. And it's like you couldn't figure it out. And like it's never by, and like that's the thing. It's never by Joe Schmo. It's always by Pro Staff of the Year. So.
All right, Pro Staffs of the Year.
Hate it if you want. I don't
We've been going forever. I think this is the longest show ever, but I love you guys.
I tend to do that.
Heck of a show. Thanks, Todd.
Thanks for having me back, Mitch.
Well, whatever. I'm just an extension of your show, pretty much. So
we'll see you the 27th, 28th for cuddle time.
We made this show anyway, so we just keep rolling. And we'll love to have you back always. The show was awesome. We didn't touch on anything we're going to talk about, but there was knowledge dropped on so much different levels, and it was deadly. So, Todd, where can everybody find you?
Not hard to find a dude with 2 4-letter names on Facebook or on Instagram. And Broden, thanks for your $50. I'll send you Adam's address here soon. And Rick, your address is on its way for free soon too. So,
Adam, what are you doing now?
You can Hope
You
to
can
see me
find
on one of
Adam
these.
Peter.
You can hope to see me on one of these flyers one of these days, and if you do, save up them questions and ask them away. Otherwise, send Todd money, and he'll either forward it to me, or we'll just give you everything you need to know.
All right. Don't put Adam on a milk box. We'll get him back on the show. He'll
Milk's
be back.
disgusting.
He'll be back and forth here. But I don't know what's going to happen. So cheers, everybody. Happy New Year. I'm glad you guys made it. Great show. We'll see you Tuesday. I think I'm going to do show Tuesday right before I fly out. But we'll see.
Next time I'm on the show, full review of the Vortex Resort.
Boom. So that might be a Tuesday.
And maybe I'll catch a fish. This looks cool.
Well, that's pretty fancy finger work.
Huh.
You better
That's what she said.
You better not do that in front of the ladies. Anyways, we'll see you next.
Girls do not want to be around me.
We'll see you next Tuesday, maybe. Otherwise, we're going to have a little bit of a break because I'm going to disappear for a bit and relax for a little. So thanks for watching. Thanks for coming on season 3. Thank you guys for bringing on season 3. We'll see everybody the next show.
See everyone later.